Every coffee needs a lotus.
It's nice easing back into old routines. Only now, with extra care. Let's do it for ourselves, for our loved ones, for everyone's safety.
Hurry up, let's go. Let's go.
And staying safe starts at home.
Nice.
From how we work and learn, to the little ways we find joy. If you must head out, take extra care. Making a small effort, being mindful, they go a long way to keeping us all safe. The health of all depends on each one of us. So let's work together, using new tools and keeping to our new habits to protect the people we love. At work, let's all be good team players.
Hi, morning. How are you? Good.
A little distance between us today will be good for us all tomorrow. A little care can protect the one thing that means the world to us. So let's do our part.
The views and opinions expressed by the speaker Host, commentator, or other third party in Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass are those of the speaker, host, commentator, or third party and do not necessarily reflect and represent the views and opinions of Ariva. Furthermore, Ariva does not warrant, express, or imply the merchantability and fitness for a particular purpose of any product information, service, or process presented by the speaker, host, commentator, or third party, and Ariva specifically disclaims any legal liability or responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or usefulness of any product information, service, or process presented. Finally, material or information presentation, opinion, process, or service by, on any trade name, trademark, manufacturer, or otherwise during Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass do not constitute or imply Ariva's endorsement or recommendation of such opinion, process, service, item, or organization.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ariva Academy's free live webinar with our topic this afternoon, 23 essential skills of administrative professionals must have in 2023. I am Kate and I will be with you the whole afternoon as your host and excited to learn with everyone as well. So now, before we get to introduce our speaker, I have a few reminders to make sure that this webinar will run smoothly for everyone. Ariva is committed to protecting your privacy, hence stricter security of this webinar has been implemented. For better viewing of your Zoom experience, we encourage you to please update your Zoom application by visiting their website. And for those of you who are using their mobile gadgets to view this webinar, you can go to either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store so you can download and install the Zoom app. Now, I want to know who here is joining an Ariva Academy webinar for the first time. If it's your first time, can you type hi here in the chat box? Also, please let us know where you are located right now. I am here in Parañaque City and we are having a very beautiful sunny afternoon. I hope wherever you are, you're having good weather. Hi, good afternoon. We have friends from QC, from Taguig, from Mandaluyong, from Batangas, Zamboanga del Norte, from Tacloban, BGC, Dipolog, Cebu, Mindanao, Naga. Where else? Davao, Cebu, Alabang, Makati, Pangasinan, Manila, Danao City, Cebu. And I was informed, here are a list of the other participants. Agusan del Norte, from Albay. Bacolod, from Baguio, from Bataan, from Batangas, from Benguet, from Cagayan de Oro, from Camarines Norte. We have friends from Capiz, from Cebu, from Davao, from Gensan, wow, from Iloilo, from Isabela, from La Union, Laguna, from Leyte, Maupay, from Lucena, from Negros Oriental, from Nueva Ecija. We have a lot of friends from Nueva Vizcaya, also from Occidental Mindoro, from Palawan, from Pampanga, Pangasinan, Sorsogon, Zambales, Zamboanga, and Zamboanga del Sur. But aside from having participants from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, we also have participants who are outside the country right now. We have participants who are in Thailand, from Indonesia, from Doha, Qatar, from India, from Dubai, from Singapore, and all the way from Canada. Hello, Philippines, and hello, world. Good afternoon, wherever you are. We have from Samar, from Antique, from Angeles, from South Cotabato, from Butuan, Bulacan, Mindoro, Bacolod, Bukidnon, Laguna, Quezon City. Hello, welcome to everyone who's with us, and welcome back to those who have attended in the past. We are very happy to have you here with us again this afternoon. Now, let us do an audio check. I want to make sure that once our speaker is on screen, you will be able to hear the discussion clearly. Please type 111 here in the chat box if you're able to hear me loud and clear. You can also type 222 if you can't hear anything, or you can type 2121 if you can hear me, but the sound that you're hearing is breaking up, or I sound laggy or robotic. You can also type question mark if you don't understand what is happening. We will try to help you out. Let me check the chat box. Okay, I am seeing a lot of 111s and a few, I think, 2121s. For those of you who are having trouble with their audio, please make sure you fix it or have someone check it for you. If you're in the office or you're at home, have someone check your audio so that you can be sure to listen clearly to our speaker later. Thank you for that. Later, we'll have a 10-minute break, and I'll be announcing that something exciting will be happening during our break time, so watch out for that. Now, participants on microphones will be temporarily disabled by our administrator during the discussion to avoid interruptions. But for those of you who have questions, I know you'll have questions, you can click the raise hand button during our Q&A portion, okay? Click the raise hand button during the Q&A portion will allow you to ask your question directly to our speaker. Or you can type your questions here in the chat box, and during our Q&A portion, I will be reading them. Now, an e-certificate of attendance will be awarded to participants who will successfully complete the entire virtual masterclass. And as proof of your attendance, we are encouraging everyone to turn on their cameras all throughout our session. We want to be able to interact with you. We want to be able to see you, okay? So there you go, turn on your cameras. And the e-certificates will be available 3 to 5 days after the e-learning session. Now, please help us build and improve our service with your comments and feedback. You can scan this QR code, and that will bring you to the feedback form. At the end of our session, please fill out the form and then send it back to us. There you have it. Now, I'm sure you're all eager to get to know our speaker. So let me introduce her. She's had 30 plus years in the business as a professional and career management consulting works, where she adds value to organizations in areas of organizational learning and development, sales and marketing, corporate social responsibility, customer excellence, and financial risk and rewards management. She was a former live talk show business host of Global News Network on the corporate world, former technical leadership consultant of ASEAN HIVA's fellowship involving a multi-country HIV and AIDS network, former chair and public relations for the Philippines in ASEAN Work-Life Balance Project. She's a certified project manager and fellow of the American Association of Project Managers, a certified management consultant of Institute of Certified Management Consultants of the Philippines, a business unit head and licensed financial consultant and partner of AXA Philippines, a public speaker consultant of Ariva Academy, corporate educator of Philippine HR Group and HR Caliber Zone. So ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our speaker, Miss Daphne Granfield.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Wow, I'm so happy we can do this together. And I think you are here with Ariva because, as Ariva says, it's all about being better. Hello, Kate. So nice to see you.
Hi, good afternoon, Miss Daphne.
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm so happy to see that we are also airing in Southeast Asia, no?
Yes, even all the way sa Canada, we have a participant who's from Canada right now.
Hello there. Good afternoon. And it only shows that we have a lot of admin professionals around already, especially for those who are new. Yes, good afternoon. I'm seeing some greetings here in the chat box. Maraming salamat. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so this is 23 admin skills we're talking about. No, I think everyone is very excited to know what are the 23. Actually, I'm giving you 24 or plus one.
Wow.
24, okay.
My bonus.
May bonus, okay, because it has something to do with the terrain or the domain that where we are right now. So sit back and relax. And I hope that some of your friends who cannot enter Zoom can probably watch us at Facebook. Am I right, Kate?
Yes, they can watch us via Facebook Live.
Okay, sure. So this time, I'm pretty sure you have a reason why you're here. You want to discover what other skills you want. So let's proceed. Thank you, Kate, for the introduction. I appreciate that. Let me share my screen. Actually, I got already questions, okay, prior to us being here. Okay, imagine I was able to, let me know also if you get to see my screen right now. There you go. Is that clear?
There, we can see it, yes.
Okay, so I got 76 questions. Wow. Okay, and some of them, of course, almost the same tone and questions they'd like to me to answer it, but probably later. So don't leave. Okay, I can only accommodate as much. But anyway, we are also giving a chance for you to share your thoughts of questions today in chat box, and I may even ask you to unmute. Okay, so we can talk. Okay, we can talk because we're using the virtual, and the only way to keep us engaged is to talk like we're doing it face to face. Is that clear? Can I have a thumbs up if everybody agrees to it? Yes, thank you, thank you. Okay, I know it's kind of difficult nowadays to administer something, but I'd like to go to the basics. You guys are already good? Do you agree? Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. If you find yourself good already with what you're doing as admin professionals, okay? I think you are. It's just a matter of putting things in order. And since 2023, if I remember it right, of course, it's a totally different kind of work life in 2019, 2015, in 2011. We don't have much of the technology like this, do we? We don't have this, yes. And I'm pretty sure in 2020, during the pandemic times, you had a hard time migrating, doing the Zoom or whatsoever virtual app you've used. All of us learned the techniques. And even if we learned the techniques, I'm pretty sure you did not really went to the manual, but excitedly using it right away. Do you agree? You learned the app because of using it. And that is what skill is all about. So let me go to my next slide. Okay. So I ask you, out of the two pictures, sorry, I cannot see the chat, but Kate, you can guide me here. Okay, whatever the response they have. I want to know in this picture, in this photo, in this visual, who do you think are skilled? Is it the picture in number 1 or the picture in number 2? What do you think? Who are skilled in what they do? Okay, I'm talking about skills. That's the first thing we have to, understand. Which is number 1, okay, or number 2? What do you see there, Kate? How many?
I'm seeing number 2.
Number 2.
Majority are number 2 and a few ones.
Okay, which is actually number 2. You're correct. Why number 2? Why not number 1? Why not number 1? Okay, when you say administration, we're talking about, of course, doing a lot of things. And typically, the issue about multitasking, you should multitask, but not all have the capacity, let me use that term, to multitask. Okay, in fact, after the pandemic, when we all got back, they do not anymore wanted us to multitask as much as possible because we already had issues in mental health. Okay, now in number 2, some of you may see that it looks like this guy can handle the task smoothly, easily, with zest, with life. Okay, but in real world, what we do is number 1. Do you agree? What we do is number one. If that is what you say, that number two is a skill, you may see a little of harmony, okay? Or you can see them like the guy is moving things in the right order, in control. Basically, that's the real definition of administration, span of control. That is administration. I agree that not all of you may be our admin assistant professionals here. Some may be in the position level, some are supervisors, okay? Some are managers or whatnot. I'm not going to talk about the business model anymore if that's employed or you have your own business. But at the end of the day, what I want you to understand that we are responsible to administer something. The difference is the span of control it needs into a particular role. That's the difference, okay? Sometimes we don't see that. However, we try to do the job, but you don't see the big picture of where you are, the domain where you are in supporting the administration side of an organization. Now, let me go to the next. I want to give you a very good understanding of ability and skill, because at the end of the day, ability is a skill, okay? Can everybody smile? Smile on the cam? Can you do smiling even if you're not on cam? Okay, smile. Everybody has the ability to smile. Do you agree? It's something you can do, right? Something you can do, even if you're wearing the mask. You can smile. And they say, you know, if you have a bad day, smile is enough to put your mood up, actually. We all have the ability to smile. But when you're skilled to differentiate the two, it's something that you do well. Now I'm asking you to smile better. Can you do that? Of course, you're gonna put already the glow in your face. When I said smile without any reason, probably you're thinking, I don't think I can. Of course, everybody can smile. Even our pets can smile at us. Okay, but when you're skilled, you do it well. So when you enter a company, you have the ability. But if you stay and learn, okay, how to do things better, then you become skilled across time. Okay, it's not always perfect. If you're a fresh grad going to a company, okay, you are going to apply. For example, I remember just a quick story when I graduated as mass communication, okay, a bachelor in mass communication. So the first job, I think if I can remember it right, I applied for is into marketing. Now the interviewer said, can you bring samples of your work? I was a fresh grad. So do you want a sample of my work right now? So I don't know if the interviewer was actually listening to me. Okay. But anyway, so I went back and I got my schoolwork because that's what I have, sample of my work. Isn't that odd? Okay. To show that I have the ability to do ad copy or whatsoever I've learned in school. And these are my grades pa. Okay, it has my grade on my work. Okay, because that's the sample of my work. So I have the ability. Okay, now if I get in, then I get into the practice. I get into the environment. I get skilled. So sometimes you felt like I should be good right away to get into a company. No, again, you have the ability, and that is what we're sharpening it, so you get skilled. So at some point, maybe you have the ability, but you haven't tapping it yet to get skilled on that particular area. Okay, now let's go back to administration. Okay, you see, if you are working right now as an employee or having your own business, doesn't matter. I'm just not sure if you're very keen about your learning capacity. Learning capacity is very important, that sometimes people did not know they have this ability, or it's simply difficulty. I have a son who has mild ADHD. I've learned that when he was 5 years old. So at that time, he's already 30 right now. So you do the math, count back. Attention deficiency and hyperactive syndrome was not yet well studied at those times. Probably not in our country, Philippines. So that was devastating for me as a mom to understand what is ADHD. Then I asked the doctor, okay, let me know, so what's the adult life of somebody who has that syndrome? Again, this is inborn. This is inborn. And for a parent who not understand the learning capacity and condition of a child, and you have no answers, you just have to really see it through when it's there. So they said they lack focus. Okay, now that's a disability and it's inborn. So I don't know if you have that, because sometimes we judge each other. Okay, you're slow, you can't get this. Probably that person has a disability you didn't know. Okay, or it's just plainly getting difficult for them to learn. Now, this too can affect the skill development. I'm just giving you that shot so that you know you don't question, like you've been into training for so many years, but it seems like you cannot do the work still. So is that disability or there's a learning difficulty? Now, let me just differentiate the two. This is a permanent condition. Okay, there are those with learning disability kids who are high performing and those who need more support to perform. Okay, this is a permanent condition that had you known it earlier, you would have given a different way of teaching them. In pedagogy, children's way of teaching is totally different, okay, from andragogy, which is adult learning. So I don't know, those who have kids here can probably take a look, few minutes. If your children are not performing well, probably there's a disability you did not know. And I mind your parents also do not want to admit. But again, it just so happened, okay? It just so happened. So you just have to know, so you would know what to do next. A learning difficulty is permanent. Sorry, temporary, okay? It just so happened that you are learning more when you listen than when you, okay, when you see something. Visual learners. There are learners who can get and understand the concept when there's a visual. So don't make it hard for yourself. Probably the learning difficulty. They said, I don't know if you would agree with me. If you're good in math, you're not good in English. If you're good in English, you're not good in math. Okay? But we all have capacity to learn. The difference of having a disability is that it's a reduced capacity for them to learn in the normal way. When you say normal, we're talking about what people typically do. This is about skill development. So if in case you're in the office and they teach you something like using probably a new app and you just can't get it, okay, especially for those of my generation, Gen X, who are just migrants of the technology, because we don't use technology in younger days in the office, okay, we definitely need the help of the Gen Ys and those in the millennial to teach us how to doggy joke. That's a dance. To teach us how to use the technology, for God's sake. You just have to be open to these kids. It's nice to learn from the new professionals, okay? Because they know the technology. They're very, very skillful understanding how it works. And for us in the process, where we were born in generation earlier than them, we didn't see this possible. Okay, so open your eyes and your head. If you don't know it, just ask them. This is part of your control. This is part of your administration. Okay, for you to also blend and function yourself with them. So this too, I want you to understand. Is there a disability or is only difficulty? So it's a temporary condition which needed the right support and path and tools. And nowadays we have every tool already you can find in the planet. Okay, you just have to understand. Do you understand? Do you get more of the concept when I show you pictures? Okay, for us in a generation, we can read. But I think the generation after us, they don't like reading anymore. They just look at the picture and they get it. And then they have a story already in their head. And they think they understand everything. Do you think so? So that's where the conflict starts. That's where diversity happens. Okay? So anyway, I want you to take a look at your own learning level and capacity. Capacity, in Tagalog, merong lalagyan. Okay? So if this is the case that you wanted to build skills, please remember that you weren't born to be a master right away. It needs time. It needs how much capacity you have to grasp the concept and to apply and practice it. We Filipinos always say, did you get it? And we always say yes. But actually, at the back of your head, you would ask another friend, did you get that? Okay. We just simply say yes without really understanding or measuring if we got the whole concept or not. That's tough, actually. Again, mastery takes time. Mastery also will affect the level of mastery goes with your capacity to learn. Okay. And the practice is very, very important. So practice makes us human, not perfect. Practice makes us progress. Okay, that's why we have to do it. Practice. Okay, you're good at what you do because you've been doing it. With closed eyes, you can do it, right? You know what to do. The thing is, if things change around us. Okay, now, here are, the journey that you will get into. You have to experience in the real world how it's like to do this. Like I remember the first time you got your phone, did you read the manual with the small letters? I could not even read the letters, too small for me. I'd rather get my son or my daughter, can you teach me how to do this? Okay, experience is the best practice, exactly. Now, you also have to reflect what works for you and not work for you. You also have to think how this is going to be useful, and you have to act it out. Okay, you have to make it a habit. The skill grows more. Everything we do is habit forming. Yes, everything we do is habit forming. So, such as the skill, the same thing. So, I'd like to ask you, there are 2 photos and 2 individuals here. Who do you think is the administration professional or administration support professional? Who do you think? Who is the one that supports in the administration side? Okay, is it A or B? A? What do you think between these two? Now, you can say probably both. Puede. Yeah, can be done. Probably both. Or you see yourself more as B. Okay? But my question to you is, okay, anong mga sagot dyan, Kate? What did they say?
I am seeing a lot of B's and a few A's. A spattering of A's, but majority are B's.
Okay, what if I trick your mind that the AA here, the admin assistant, is actually A? Is that acceptable? Yes or no? Can be, right? My question to you now, who are you in the office most often? Are you A or B?
I'm also seeing both.
Both, yeah.
Answers both. Now I'm seeing a lot of A's here in the answer as well.
Yes. So
even in our Facebook Live, I'm seeing some answers. They're saying B this time.
Oh, okay. So you see, but in reality, all of us, even your boss, is also an administration professional. Because when you say administration, it's control. Okay? It's control. It's like, what is March in Philippines? Fire Prevention Month, right? Fire Prevention Month. So that's a reminder for all in Philippines because it's hot again.
Also, it is International Women's Month.
Okay, that's why I'm here internationally talking to you. Okay. Anyways, so imagine a cooking gas. If you have a cooking gas in the house, the tank itself, okay, does it have a regulator? Does it have a regulator? Because it's if none, then that's risky. It's riskier actually not to have a regulator, right? The regulator is the span of control when you regulate the release of the gas so you can use it for cooking. That is administration. If you don't have the regulator, then chances are it can just it can cause fire. Okay, if the temperature outside is too hot and you don't have the regulator too, of course, turn it on or off or a little of off or on. That is administration. Now, these two have 2 functions of administration. I'm not just talking to you as an assistant right now. I'm talking to you as a professional. Okay, let go of the leveling for a moment. Because all of us started with administration. I did. I was a secretary of my cousin who owns a realty when I was 19. Okay, so I had to learn how to, answer calls myself, right? We all did. Then I became an assistant of somebody who owns a band and I take care of the band. So that's a different story of administration. Not one size fits all. The point here is you have to understand the nature of the business of whom or which you are assisting. What is the cost of the business? Okay, can you administer? Can you support the administration? Now, that's why I'm asking you first. What if my boss is the one who is in front of me? Okay, the lady here, and the AA or the admin assistant is actually the one sitting there and doing the calls and everything. Or what if my boss is A and not B? But all of them administers. Now, why admin support? Please understand, an organization has visions. These are just ideas. And because of the vision, the mission comes now. Okay, I envision myself having a business. Okay, and the mission of my business is this. That's why, let me ask you, before you ask yourself about the skills, do you know your company's vision? If not, then why are you there? Do you know your company's mission? Do you know where the boat of the company is going? Then why are you there? Okay? Because your function has something to do with the company's strategy. And the strategy is linked to the vision and the mission. Okay? If you don't know the vision, mission, you only see yourself as getting a job. You want to take this into a career level, to a higher level, then you have to understand, oh yeah, what is the business of my company all about? If you haven't known them yet, then you're going to see only a small portion of why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, why admin support? Because every organization have operations. This is not just about moving good ideas. We have to move tasks. We have to move relationships. We have to move tools. And we have to be vulnerable in learning a skill. When you want to really learn a skill, you want to be good at what you do, be ready to fail. Be ready to be mistaken. Be ready to be corrected. That's a problem with some of the admin group. They don't want, they have their own system, they make their own style, but question, is it linked to the grand scheme of things of the company? So think about that. I'm not saying what you're doing is not good. What I'm saying is, are you aligned, okay, to the real reason why you have a table in that company? Okay, why you have your position there at the end of the day? Okay, so this is not just about, emailing, taking calls, scheduling. There's a big reason behind all those actions. Okay, and you're good at it. I agree, because otherwise you will not be employed right now or do things, or you won't be even here to listen. So we admin support because there's a vision, period. We admin support because it needs to get done, period. That's why you admin support. Or imagine an office without any admin support. Okay, imagine an office that is only one person moving. Do you think the vision can be moved as timed? Imagine there's no one there but you. You can only move so much, but if you talk about time, there's time and timing that we have to take care of, then we might as well get people, to help us. Yes, that's why you're there. That's why you were hired, because they know that you have the gem that can move the vision. Actually, that's why you are there. For some reasons, we have this expectations. I want the best workplace I can think of is safe space. Do you want to add up to the list? What is the best workplace for you? Higher salary, probably. Somebody with good hearts, good people, healthy minds. I want tasks to be predictable. We always wanted the easy way out. Stress-free. But I ask you, when is it that work becomes stress-free? When? When is it that these matters do not come with stress or pressures or problems. You know, if you only see problems, differences, makes us talk. If we don't have problems, we don't need to talk. We don't need to be in a company. Agree? Problems makes us build camaraderie. Chaos comes before peace. Okay? It does not always like peace is, I want peace, and then you're not willing to solve any problems, but you want peace. We go back again to the basic. Apparently, when pandemic hit in 2020, life has already been like this, but it turned out to be even more challenging, I shall say. So we felt volatile in 2020. Look back 3 years ago, we don't know what to do because the processes have to change because we cannot see each other face to face. We are uncertain as to how long would we do the online work style or hybrid. It was so complex because even the government changed some plans and we need to get permits, etc. And it was ambiguous enough to understand that when this all will end. Everybody has their own opinions, right? There were so many changes that year. Until now, okay, we're still at war. We have the COVID war. We still have the UK, okay, Russia war, okay, and other things you see outside. All this affects us. Okay, all this. Now, if you put your skill into practice, are you also aware of where you're putting your skills to when you practice? That's why when we did this, I was designing this program, this Talk for You, 23 admin skills. It's also good for those who are not really into the support role, the main role, the lead role, can also come, okay, and join us today. So if that's a domain, we have to respect the domain. Where we are now, 2023, where are we anyway? We're still in the same boat. It's just that we were brave enough to go out already and continue what we continue, didn't we? That's where we are now. So for the purpose of alignment, I think those who are outside Philippines can understand anyway the terms. Allow me to just give the Filipino counterpart of the term. What is volatile in Filipino? We call it pabago-bago. Agree? Okay? Pabago-bago ang mga administration. Pabago-bago ang presyo. Magkano na ba ngayon ng sibuyas? How much is onion na? Pabago-bago. Okay? Uncertain in Filipino. Walang katiyakan. These are our expectations. We don't want to change. We want to be sure. That's why we get stressed. That what we do, it's going to work. So complex, magulo, komplikado, whatever it is, komplikado yung position ko, okay, into the life I have right now. Hindi malinaw ang lahat, malabo, that's ambiguous. And this is life. Beyond your office, this is life. So if you're looking for a perfect workspace, you're going to find this as well. Okay? There is no such thing as perfect workplace as it is to a perfect administration or administrative professional. Wala din naman perfect, right? So what's the idea? What's the attitude? How do we progress? Despite that we face all this, even in the most perfect workspace and boss you have, how do we make it work? Because this happens to us, not just in office, in our real life. Okay, we have this. So, since we're talking about administrative, it talks about details. And Steve Jobs says, details matter. It's worth waiting to get it right. Meaning it's worth the time to learn it right. Okay, Steve Jobs was saying, because when you say administration or being professional at it, it's the execution of the plans and the control, the span of control you have. I'm not saying we can control everything, but what can you control? Okay, to be precautious in your actions or to be, probably cure the situation. What do? It's a detailed execution. I want you to understand, if you're a support professional, that you are the one directly working on the task movement. Now, here's the thing. The ones who is managing you, your bosses, okay, have to have a wider span of control because they have to be on top of everything. That sometimes probably you didn't see that because you were looking at your own level. When you say the wider the span of control, like our bosses have, okay, the wider also the risk. The wider the responsibility. Oh yes, the rewards and risk, they're together. Oh yeah, they're into the position, all right, but they see the risk from the top going down, and you from the from the level doing the work here, you look up. So perspective are totally different. They do not see details because they have to move decisions with your help. If you have the good details with you, they ask you, okay, how is it going with Mr. like this? Or how's our deal with like that? Did you put the meeting already together? Or you make sure we already have the food prepared? Why do they do that? They cannot do what you do anymore because responsibility is bigger. So you have a connection with them, and this is not about competition. You did not get the job to compete. That is not in your job description. Okay? You get this job because you know you can help back. Okay? You get this job because you know you can contribute something to move visions, to move plans. So think again. When you say administration details, they also have their own administrative functions. Okay, but different details. And that is to make sure that you are happy with your work. For some, perhaps, just to make sure that they are relating well with you. They probably wanted to make sure that they are motivating you enough. May not be all. No perfect bosses, no perfect workplace. And that's the beauty of it, because it takes time to harmonize everything. Okay, it takes time to harmonize everything. So let me proceed. So there are 23 skills, but I want to give you the category so that you don't get mixed up. There are 6 in 2023. It takes time for us to recover from a lot of losses, but we also, I'm pretty sure when we have losses, there's also gain at the back of it. That's how life works. If you lose something, you gain something out of the loss. If you gain something, you also trade off something of the loss. Okay, so I'd like to give you category. If you ask me about if I get my own admin professional to support the vision of the reason why we are both here in the company, the first one, task prioritization. It's very important. You don't make your own task prioritization. It should be connected or linked to the main task of the department, and the main task of the department should be linked to the strategic, okay, program of the organization. It should be linked, okay? Decoding meaning, we're going now to communication. Decoding meanings, and I'm not talking only about information. You know what information is, but you have to decode. When you say decode, you understand the meaning of what is given to you, either online or on-site. You also give thoughts, right? Suggestions, recommendations, etc. Then you are encoding your meaning. You see, this is the age when we have to understand intentions and no longer information. Okay? Information is already there, outside. Google, you can get it there. But what is exactly the meaning and what is the relevance of that meaning in what I do? Now, time valuing. Yes, time management. But when you say time valuing, we only have 24/7 a day, or 24 hours a day, shall I say. But how do you put or boost the value of time given the 24 hours? Okay. Problem resolving as much as possible and no longer just solving it. When you say resolving, what does it mean? Okay. As in, we really try to remove the problem if there's a resolution already and not just a band-aid solution. And technology norming. Okay? Technology norming, because whether we like it or not, even if we don't like really to use our phones or PC, if you ask me, I'm more comfy using the PC than the phone, probably because my eyesight already. Okay, but the end of the day, I'm comfy using this, but at times I really have to learn the phones. Otherwise, I lose a client. Otherwise, I cannot help you too because you're using a different tool. Make sense? So I have to normalize myself using these things, of course. Okay, good thing I have children who can teach me that. And I let them. Because when you, by the way, when you teach somebody, the more you learn. FYI, when you teach somebody to do things, you learn more. Okay? So if you know how to help somebody with these tools or they're lost, do teach, because the more you affirm learning in yourself. Okay? So let's go with the first one. Okay, skill is a learned ability. Now we're going to use the same domain: volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. Okay, we're going to use that so that we have this impression of, staying into one story and understanding each other from this end. So task prioritization. I know, I remember this commercial of the actress Sharon Cuneta in Philippines. I hope you don't mind, those who are outside Philippines. And there's a commercial that she did for Coca-Cola. And she mentioned like, I don't like number one. I don't like to be number one. I'd like to be the only one. When you say priority, that's the top, nothing else. Only one. No such thing as priorities. My top priorities are, you have to put level. My top priority is to do this. Second to my priority is this. Third to my priority is this. That's why we get lost. We want to put everything in priority. Okay, then we get lost. Then we hate ourselves. Then we leave the company. And then we cry. Then we apply again. Then we prioritize the same way. So pareho lang ang story. Hindi na tayo umalis. Okay, the story is turned out to be more of a series. You're changing company because you thought the company is the problem, but only to find out you're doing something that will not work. Okay, so when you prioritize tasks, we understand that there are changes, and you hate changes. Oh my God, he changed schedule again. Oh my God, what will I do? Everything is already, but it happens. My dear professionals, it happens. Okay, and we can only control as much. So if there is pagbabago, if there is volatility in the task movement, then just respond to change objectively, because there is a reason why it needs to be changed. Respond to change, okay? Let's prioritize. It's like, being with the family. When you're handling family, if you're the breadwinner, there's a change happening. Isn't it that you ask family to respond to the change while it's happening? Okay? You don't fire your family like work, for God's sake. You don't do that. But at work, respond to change. Okay? Because there's a reason why it's changed. And for all you know, it may be a reason that also will help you stay on your job. Okay? Respond to change. That's it. Why? Because there's a very good reason that it will cause money loss or money gain for the whole organization. Respond to change objectively. Do not take it personally. Oh, I already prepared this and that. Sayang effort ko. How about my effort? There you go. You're taking things personally. Okay, remember, you are with a team. You are with an organization that you don't see the big picture. Respond to change. That's a learned ability. Okay, next. They said that, how do you know which is the best task? You weigh the task value. If I do this, what is the impact of that to the main goal? If I do this first, what is the impact of this to the main goal? You weigh the task value. You probably even have a task that it's not needed. You get my point? You weigh. Okay, if I do this, will it give me efficiency to do other things? For example, maybe a good example is that, oh, I want you to move the schedule. Let's meet this guy first instead of this lady. but you already made those meeting schedules set already confirmed. Okay, you weigh the task value first, because some tasks are meant to wait. Or if two, okay, task value are almost the same, if you may delegate, but there should be a priority. Sometimes we're afraid to make decisions. Baka kasi magkamali, I might, mistaken myself. I might be corrected. That's where the learning ends. You stop your own skill development. You want to be perfect? Then if you're perfect, you don't have to be in this talk anymore, actually. So these things happens. Complex. Now, when the task is too complex, let's say too many things happening at the same time, try to look at which of the tasks gives you more problem than movement. Maybe there are tasks that's challenged to move, okay, that it can wait later, okay? For example, there's something that you need to do, but it needs money to move it. Maybe we can, you have your boss there who has the authority to decide also. Why don't you say that to your boss? I want to do this, but this will require this. So what do you think? Okay, what's important is all of the tasks that you're doing, you try to look at the value of the task if it really hits the mark or the goal, and try to see which one is so difficult to do. Okay, for some reasons, then you have to put that first, maybe later, set it aside. Becoming complex already. If the task is too ambiguous for you, you can't understand, then you have to ask for needed guidance from the right person who can help you move the task. Some of us don't like asking questions. Okay? Some of us don't like to reaffirm, clarify, verify. These are abilities. If you're good at it now, then it becomes a skill. Sometimes we don't like to tell them that, hey, I need help. Why not? You should. That's part of your being a professional. So needed for guidance. You can understand the task. You can understand the goal. You can see the connection between the task and the goal. Ask for guidance. Okay, ask for questions. That's why you don't move, because you keep on overthinking. See, so there are things you need to clarify for yourself. Now, again, priority is only one. If they ask you to move one, and that's a priority, you can ask, is this a top priority because I'm going to put my effort and time doing this? Then so be it. If that's affirmed, so you're doing the right thing. If that change, then go with ever the changes can happen or should happen. Okay? So notice that these are learned ability. If you do it, you're going to be good at it. Okay? So according to Mahatma Gandhi, okay, what you do right now in the office, that's your priority. And what you're prioritizing right now is what you choose. So check if you're the one only choosing, but the whole department has a different choice. So you see, with that, you're trying to align yourself, okay, with the relevance, okay, of your department. Now, some bosses also have a problem aligning themselves. Remember, leadership, when you're the one leading, you have to make them see what you saw through influence. So the other way around, some boss would say, alam na niya yan. Yeah, she knows what to do. Not all. Otherwise, they're gonna put again another story in between until you get into fights again, or yet silence fighting. Okay, so action expresses priority. So I would know if I talk to you, what have you been doing, and you tell me this is what I do, then that's your priority. Okay, no more justice here. It's just that you're doing what you're prioritizing, and what you're prioritizing, you are choosing. Okay, let's go to the next. Decoding meaning. Okay, communication is about meaning. There's so many definitions. Being a mass comm graduate myself, technical, you don't need them. Okay, you just want to be practically using communication. When you say communication, exchange of what? Of meaning. meaning in Filipino, yung gusto mong sabihin talaga. Yung intention. Okay? You're decoding meaning, ibig sabihin, when you decode, you are receiving the meaning. Okay? So it's not just because what is told to you, it's all about like that. Sometimes no. For us in our culture in Philippines, sometimes we want to say things, but we just can't say it straight. Otherwise, we might hurt the other person, but it always depends on the story, okay? Always depends on your intention. Every meaning has an intention. Every message has a meaning. Now this time, how do you take, what is told to you either on-site or online? When I say on-site, face-to-face. When I say online, something like this. How do you take that? And how do you turn that meaning to your use? So you have to decode it, okay? You have to decode it. In this case, I'm doing the speaking and you only see something here. I don't use videos, okay? However, I hope that I am able to give you the meaning, okay, and not just the tips of what I'm trying to say. Pabago-bago. If in case that you are to learn, let's go to the scenario learning, in training, on-site or hybrid. There are some parts of the program that we have to do on-site. There are some parts of the program we have to do online. Pabago-bago, for example, or meetings. You know already that it's tough to handle the change, then remove distraction. Oh, is that a learned ability? Of course. Actually, that's a difficult ability to have. We love to be distracted, yes? You may be talking to me right now, but some of you may be in Facebook. Some of you may be using your Instagram. You have to remove. If you really want to get the meaning of what I'm saying, remove distractions. Okay? That's a difficult one. Looks simple, but it's difficult to do, right? Because you know that the situation counts, it will change, it's volatile. So if you didn't get the message, how much more the meaning? If, let's say, you're uncertain with what the other person is saying, online or on-site, on the phone, okay, you're not sure, because sometimes we are the ones who has the VUCA mode. We're unsure, then check own understanding. There are two categories, or shall I say, indicators that you understood. This is how you do it. Ask yourself and ask other people. Understanding involves, okay, first is they understand what you said, okay? And second, they do what you say. If it's only understanding what you said and there's no action, that's not understanding. Okay? They move, we move when we understand something if we see connections. As human beings, if there is no connection, we don't engage. Check your own understanding. Did you really understand the meeting? Okay? Check your own understanding because you are the one receiving the message for decoding meaning. Next, if it's too complex for you to understand something, the meaning, seek help from the right person. When I say right person, I'm not asking you to seek help from your friend who is not involved. How come you always wanted to ask friend for some solutions? Well, in fact, you're not even sure if your friend is in the same boat as you are. From the right person, from the expert, or from the one involved, not really expert, but from the one who is in the story, can give you clarity. I say, what is complex? What is the opposite of complex? Is clarity. And of course, ambiguous, malabo. There must be in the concept, if you cannot understand, I do this when I do research. For me to understand further, I seek for a visual form of the concept. And we have the Google already, the technology to make us look for more simple way of understanding concept. Now, this is on-site and this is online. Okay? So I hope that you understand the first two categories. We will proceed. I think Kate would like to do some breaks.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Daphne. So we'll see you in a little while. We'll just go on a quick break. Thank you, Ms. Daph. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm back. That means we are doing something exciting this afternoon because Ariva is in the mood to give away prizes. Okay, so we will be playing a game and we will have two lucky winners. Okay, so I hope you guys are into this game. What will the winner receive? The winner will receive 200 pesos. That will go straight to their GCash account. See? The game is very easy. I'm sure you're all familiar with this. The game is called Bring Me. It's a virtual Bring Me game. So it's the same rules as the other Bring Me game wherein you play it face to face. So this is how the game goes. I will be asking for an item, okay? I'll be asking for an item. I will say, bring me the item, and then you have to be the first one to show that item in front of your screen, in front of your camera. For example, I will say, bring me a ball pen. You have to show the pen immediately. Be the first one, okay? Be the first one to do that. And I am seeing a lot of smiles, and I think you are all ready. I am also seeing groups getting their bags ready. So let's see. So I hope you're ready. Again, you have to be the first one. Okay, the first one. Ako may umiinom na ng tubig. Mukhang nagre-ready na talaga siya. Okay, here goes. Bring me a glass with juice. A glass with juice inside. Glass with juice. Juice. Hindi pwedeng kape. It has to be juice. I'm looking, I'm checking. Do we have someone showing a glass with juice? Parang lahat yata kayo nagkakape. Walang juice. I'm seeing juice, not soda. Okay, we have Kathleen, Mary, or Piano. Kathleen, congratulations! Kathleen, you are our first winner, so this is what you have to do. Si Kathleen, yung happiness niya parang 1,000,000 pesos yung prize. Kathleen, this is what you have to do. Please send your GCash account number privately to Ariva Academy Philippines here in the chat box, okay? Ariva Academy Philippines, and then wait for your prize. We'll be sending it to you in a little while. Congratulations again, Kathleen. Now, Kathleen, because you've won already, let's give chance to others. You won't be able to join the game anymore, okay? Okay, and for the rest of our participants, there's one more 200 pesos at stake. So afterwards, you can go grab a cup of coffee after our session this afternoon. Go to Starbucks probably. Okay, so I hope you guys are ready. Here's the next item. Bring me $100 bill. $100 bill. Check your wallets. It has to be $100 bill. Not 100 pesos. $100 bill. It has to be a dollar bill. And we have Teresa, can you do that with your hand? I want to check if that's 100. Yes! Teresa, Allison, congratulations, Teresa! You are our last winner, Teresa. You will also receive 200 pesos from Ariva Academy. Congratulations, Kathleen and Teresa. Teresa, please send your GCash account number to Ariva Academy Philippines here in the chat box, okay? And wait for your prize. Congratulations to our winners, and thank you to everyone for joining the game. I hope you had fun. Nagkalkal agad ng mga gamit. Congratulations. Now, before I give the floor back to our speaker, I have some announcements. Stay on top of our insights and updates. Stay connected with Ariva Academy. You can visit us on social media. Join Ariva Academy's Facebook group. You can also like Ariva Academy's Facebook page, follow Ariva Academy in LinkedIn, and also please visit our website for information about our other programs, www.ariva.com.ph. And I am also inviting everyone to be a part of the growing Ariva Academy Viber community. You can scan this QR code or type in the number that you're seeing on screen. That will instantly bring you inside our Viber community. Now, for those of you who might have missed the other free live webinars that we've had in the past, we started that for 2020. Up to now, we're still doing it. You can all catch them in our YouTube channels. So subscribe to these channels, Ariva Academy and Ariva Talks. Now, here are some of our upcoming learning events. I'd like to invite you to join us in these events. Tomorrow, we have another free live webinar happening with the topic, Managing Generational Differences in the Workplace, Understanding Different Generations, including incoming Gen Alpha. So this one is really, really interesting. Again, this will happen already tomorrow. So if you're not yet registered, register as early as now. March 9, we have strengthening communication skills at work, how to be more assertive in a hybrid work environment. Exceptional employee onboarding, setting new joiners for success through seamless onboarding experience. This will be on March 10. On March 10 also, we have managing data privacy risk in today's global environment. On March 15, customer service excellence, developing a customer-centric culture. The 7th effective technical and report writing skills for peak performance will be on March 17. On March 23, we have financial analysis for non-finance professionals, enhance your business acumen and financial analysis skills. On March 31, managing and leading remote and hybrid workforce. Another free live webinar will happen on April 1 with the topic Boosting Work Productivity, Coping with Stress and Anxiety in Turbulent Times. I'm sure you will find this very helpful. Again, this will be on April 1 already. You can also register for that right now. The 7S of good housekeeping towards safety and productivity in the workplace will be on April 14th. On April 21, Project Management Essentials for Non-Project Managers. And for those of you who are interested in having an in-house program, whether it be virtual or face-to-face, Ariva Academy can help you with that. You can give us a call or send us an email and then let us know what program you have in mind. Here are some of the programs that we have, but we have a lot more than that. So again, we'll be waiting for your call or for your email, and we'll help you partner with the right speaker under Ariva Academy Speakers Bureau for that. There you have it. Now again, I would like to welcome back our speaker, Miss Daphne.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you. Have you seen the programs? They're very helpful for you, even if you're looking at yourself as just a support. You know, at the end of the day, the skills have to be multi-tooled. And we'll discuss that later. And to support this, what we're talking about right now, these are just, I think, checklist of skills, right? But the power to move the skills is into your hands. So I hope that you check on the programs because they're really, really very useful for you, especially this year and onwards. So let me just share the screen again. Thank you, Kate.
You're welcome.
Okay. So we ended up here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, so we're in category 2. Let's go to number 3. Okay. Before we do that, of course, I'd like to share what Jim Ron said. These are just small things to do. In fact, I'm just thinking some of those problems come from, you know, diligence. These are diligent skills, okay? And if you give time and consciousness to this skills. It's so very, very useful so that you don't really get too many issues around you. These are part of your control, and you give time for having this, for growing this kind of skills will help you progress in whatever you do right now. Let's go now to encoding. Encoding is the other way around. You're the one giving the information or giving whatever you want to mean, okay, to other people. Now, again, it's a learned ability, kung pabago-bago, learned ability to feed forward. Feedback is, you do feedback in communication when after something happens, right? That's feedback. But feed forward is looking forward to what can possibly happen. You're already giving you're forwarding something to them. Like, for example, you would say, yeah, we will have the meeting today, but please expect changes. Something like that. You're already doing the feed forward. Please expect changes for things might, the time itself, because I have yet to confirm. Okay? That's feed forward already. See, so why are you doing that? Because you mean respect. Okay, you don't want to give them false expectations anymore. That's the meaning of it. Okay, you're encoding meaning. If, let's say, you're not sure about the information you're giving because you just can't have the information right now, well, get the facts before sharing. Okay, you don't have to give them answers. That's a problem. I realized that for some new professional, they want to give the answer right now, right here. Or right here, right now. It's just that sometimes in real life, we don't have the facts yet, right? We don't have the facts. So you don't really have to give them false information or false meaning. You just have to ask for time. Okay, give me a day, or today, I'll get back to you tomorrow. Simple. It's very natural. Okay, the learnability to check facts first before you start sharing. If it's a complex news, information, can you try to talk simple? Okay, you don't have to sound like an AI. What is AI? What is AI? They're already in our phones, right? And they sound like, like Siri's an AI, but she talks really very well and simple. So just talk, if the information, you just talk simple. What you do, okay, you have to compose your thoughts first and say what you should be meaning to say. Talk simple. That's why it takes really your thoughts, okay, to align with your heart before you give stories. Sometimes people are having a hard time conveying stories because it's too complicated. So what is the first thing that you should say and the last thing that you should say? The meaning, of course, surfaces as you do that. Now, ambiguous, research is very important. I appreciate professionals who can do research because there's so many information. As compared to our era, we only have the books to rely on, right? And not all have the same copies of the book. But right now, it seems like we can't really determine what is the real news from the fake news. Okay? I too get, a victim of that. And my kids will validate it. Ma, that's fake news. Okay, okay. At least I know it's fake. All right. So try to do some research. This is due diligence skills again for all of you who are asked information. Okay, so that's an extension of service also from your end, and not just because you heard it from someone else, not because the boss said it and you find it factual. Sometimes you have to do your own study before you share the meaning. Especially, I think what happened recently was when that day was holiday, I think, no? The after Ash Wednesday, okay, that EDSA Revolution Day, and then everybody didn't know it was a holiday, so everybody had to really move and change ways on how to do it. Okay, but that was, it's beyond your control. It's okay, it's beyond your control. But if some information you're not sure, please be careful sharing them, especially if your authority level, okay, is quite high, because they will really believe you. Okay, and then suddenly that's where you do the damage control after, if trouble comes in. It's hard to damage control. Okay, that's kind of difficult. So before that happens, make sure that you share the right meaning of the information. Okay, category 4, before we go to that, Tony Robbins said, secret of living is in giving. So we just can't do the work because we are asked to be autonomous, independent. At the end of the day, you are not independent. You're interdependent, actually. And you rely also the information you get from outside of yourself. And they also rely on the information or the relationship you also share from yourself to them. So you have to give these thoughts, give attention to the details. You see, this is about details. Time valuing. Let's go about time management. Okay. Well, we know the sinful acts in managing time. We procrastinate. We love procrastinating. We love giving reasons why we need to procrastinate. Okay. However, we only have to be responsible of the time given to us. All right. All of us are just, at the end of the day, everything shall to pass, as they call it, as we know it. So if changes happens, pabago-bago, okay, let's say there's a schedule and it turns out to be at the last minute. How do you sustain the value of the time? Well, you make options. Let's say a canceled meeting or a canceled presentation, or it will take you hours. Let's say na late kayo, you got late for work, right? And I know that's where stress comes in. You got out of the house very early, but you still ended up coming to the office late. Okay, those are the things you cannot control, and that's already part. You don't have to get stressed. It's just that it so happened it happens. So you make options. If there is a chance to still put another task to do it, okay, so we're not gonna have a meeting, I might as well do this. Okay, to fill out the time, because we cannot like energy. Okay, we cannot renew time. We cannot ask for, can I have another 4 hours, Lord, of my day today? We can't do that. We're only given 24 hours. So the idea here is you put value on the time given to you. How can you be productive at a time that there's not much thing to do? I'm pretty sure at work we have the lean season and the busy seasons, right? So what do you do in the lean season? Probably you can go for checking the file. You're relaxed, that you can go check the file. If I updated it, upgraded it, because it's part of the control that you're doing. So you make options when things are changing. If you are uncertain, let's say, for example, when we use time, you ask somebody, you delegated the task, but you're not sure if the task is being done. One thing that we don't like to delegate it because we don't trust the other person that they will do it. Do you agree? Okay. Well, you can conduct an FUFT. Follow up, follow through. You have to always do FUFT to ensure that it's moving. The task is moving. So you have to make way for FUFT using your time. I mean, maybe 30 minutes of your day in the office. When are you going to follow up, follow through? It depends on the flow of your work. If you made requests in the morning, probably you can do FUFT in the afternoon. Or you can ask a person, when can I call you again for follow-up? Yes? Okay. So that the people, they know that, this is an ability that you have. If you have FUFT, you move tasks. If you just let them on, it should be them, getting back to us because we made the request. You can't do that. Okay? You cannot do that. Sayang ang time. You're wasting time for doing that. Some people, they move because they needed to be reminded of. Okay? Give them kind reminders so that you also maximize or boost the value of time. Some work, I understand, there's so many things you do. Okay? It is a must to create a work week schedule. And prior to creating a work week schedule, you must know what is the strategy that is being done today. You really have to erase whatever work week schedule that you got used to. You have to create a new work week schedule to where your department or the organization is going. It's too complicated. However, be also agile to change. Okay? This is what I think that's going to work for me, for you. Good. But the effect of the work week schedule, will it also be useful or rewarding for the ones who are moving the goal? You double check that. You may be efficient only up to your table, but not exactly to the operations of the whole unit or department. So you double check that again. Again, it goes back to prioritizing. Yes, if you know the priority of the department, which if I have bosses here, that should be really defined for the admin support to understand, okay, so that they can also make the work week schedule fitting to where the direction should be. And you're not sure if your schedules are working, why don't you conduct time audit? That this can be done by yourself. Like, where do you put most of your time? How do you move? The time audit is if you don't have the work week schedule first. Okay, let me just tell you this. To make sure that your work week scheduling is a lot better, effective, conduct time audit first. Meaning, what do you do in this hour? So you're trying to document, okay, the way you use time. Or you can have a buddy in the office that can do the audit with you. And then it's your turn to do the audit for him or her. Okay, so that you can see, so this is how I use the time. And because you have that indicator, because you have the visual of how to use the time, it's easy now for you to curate ways on how to value time. Yes, easier for you because you now have the before and after. Okay, you have to do, you already have a big picture of how you use the time in the office or even in your life. Okay, they said that you only have 24/7 and you divide the 24 hours in 3, which is, it turns out to be 8 hours, right? So the 8 hours is for work, 8 hours is for something you love to do, and 8 hours for sleep. That is basically the ideal usage of the 24 hours. If that is your goal, then why don't you conduct your time audit to see if how far you are following that so that you retain your life balance. Okay. Now, category 5, before we go there, I like this. I want to share this to you. I don't know who wrote it, but it was under the overallmotivation.com. Ordinary people think merely of spending time, but the great ones think of how to use it. I think makes sense, right? If you are very keen to putting value in time, which is not renewable, then you are already thinking of how else you can be productive, not just for the office, but for yourself. Agree? Not just for the office, because at the end of the day, your performance effectiveness also linked to your personal effectiveness. So they are aligned. That's why those who are married with kids, I understand it's a different journey as compared to those who are single, yet breadwinner. We have different ways of moving our lives. But apparently, we only have 24 hours to make things right. Okay? So, in category 5, okay, problems. I think I mentioned to you that problem makes us progress, not perfect. Okay, problem makes us talk to each other, and some problems cannot be solved by only one person. If you are able to identify one problem, can this be solved by yourself or pangmaramihan, or with the help of many people? There are some problems you can solve it yourself, and we love doing that. Okay, but not all problems are meant to be solved by yourself only. Problems can change. Okay, if it's already too tough for you, you can't even state the real problem, then you get victimized by the volatility of the situation. It is important to state the real problem and qualify if it's still a problem or already the effect of the problem. Okay, if you cannot state the real problem, then problem can change. You haven't stated it yet, and it escalates to another bigger problem. Then you have to start really stating the real problem. Sit down, keep quiet, and see things through on what really is the problem. Uncertain. Well, what's uncertain is the solution. Yes, you agree? But just to move solution, just solve it and see it through one at a time. Not all problems can be really solved by just one setting. Just move solutions, small solutions, and see it through on how it impacts, or let's say, how it solves the big issue. So it takes study. As you solve, you study the effects. As you solve, you study the effects. Okay? This is not just a one-time solution that we're looking into, because you're not even sure if it's effect already of the problem or it's already the solution. Now, things become complicated. You cannot state the problem. Why don't you get other people's view? Okay? Why don't you get them on board and see, especially those who have the authority to help you? Okay? And the only way for you to invite them is to admit that you cannot see the clarity of the problem. And you'll be amazed that people will give you different fresh eyes. They are fresh eyes, perspective. Because problem is not really just like a photo. It's not three-dimensional. Okay? That is a picture that you see and that's all what you see. Others can see it three-dimensionally or even four. Okay? It's amazing that you get thoughts of other people. That's why we need a team to help us. If in case that some solutions have been made, but we always go back to the same problem in different seasons, maybe it's time to suggest a resolution. Yes? From your end, you can solve problem. Remember, you're dealing with the details. You're controlling the details. You're ensuring that the workplace, is functioning administratively. You see everything already. You are in the battlefield. Agree? You are the one who can see the problem. So that gives you the power to suggest resolution. The thing is, we take it personally when it's not accepted. Do not do that. The mere fact, professionals, I'm talking to you, that you suggested is professional enough. You agree? Because sometimes our suggestions may also be not really rewarding for some other reasons in the big scheme of the organization. Okay? I would rather ask you to suggest a resolution rather than just, keeping quiet there and wanting to leave my company. Yes? You see something I did not. Agree? You see something I did not. And only you can do that because you're the one directly dealing with it. Okay, so let's give each other a chance for solutions in a company that is really not for perfection, but for progress. And the last one, okay, before we go, sometimes maybe we're not aware, as of course, what our scientist here, you know him already, right? Einstein said, yes, that sometimes we are the problem. We participate into the problem by complaining. We participate into the problem by wishing. But you haven't really given any solutions yet. You are in the battlefield. And the bosses probably, they cannot see what you see because they are on top looking at everything. Okay? But you see the details. A simple suggestion can really make your workplace safe and healthy. Now, suggesting resolutions, let's go to technology norming. This is the last category before we go to the Q&A. Okay, technology norming, like it or not, we are already here doing all of this. Now, when I entered AXA Philippines, we're really heavy with technology. And I tell you, was it easy? No, I complain. But remember, technology are designed for a purpose. Yes? And the purpose of technology is to make our lives easier. But it's never a perfect technology, mind you. It's the way you use that can perfect it. Okay? So, if in case that you complain, we're using a different system again, can you just use it first? We have tendency to complain. Can you just simply use it first? I mean, try mo. Okay? So use it first. Because you cannot comment into something that you haven't tried it. Okay? You're uncertain if you're doing it the right way. Well then, you can validate how you'd use it with somebody who's been using it. Agree? Okay, is that a skill? Yes, the validation is a skill. Okay? It's a learned ability. Now, complex because it's too much for you. Remember how we're talking about the learning capacity, right? There is a learning capacity and not all of us have the same capacity to learn how to do things. Okay? Find a mentor that can stay with you, a colleague, for a week. because it's until you get to the hang of it, okay? Until it gets like second best already to nature, if it's complex for you. For troubleshooting, however, you know what I do if I want to troubleshoot? We have in AXA Philippines, we have 4 systems that we use. Wow, 4. Hindi pa kasama si Facebook. Hindi pa kasama yung ibang sites. Okay? Yes, that's how we move business online. Okay? Then I go find really and ask until okay, oh, so that's how it is. Oh, that's why. And sometimes all the system, they update it, they upgrade it, that you don't even know it was updated. Do you agree with me? They updated it, but they did not tell you it was upgraded. So until you realize, oh, so there's an icon now. You see, just be open to all these changes because they are meant to upgrade. FYI, they do not stay as is. Okay? And for troubleshooting, of course, you can't do that. I believe I'm happy with those who can use and troubleshoot at the same time. Hands up for them, really. Okay, but all of us are not ITs because I'm not into IT, right? But I tell you, some IT don't even know how to teach you. Agree? So, but however, you can ask, can I do my own troubleshooting? You can ask. You're seeking help for troubleshooting. They don't know how to help you unless you say so. Okay, it's a learned ability because we have now to live the life with this technology. Unlike before, 20 years back, we don't have this. Did somebody teach you how to email? Yes or no? No, you just use it, right? You just use it. Did somebody tell you how to attach mails or documents? No. Did somebody teach you how to use Facebook? No, you were just using it. Okay? So that's technology norming. Just use it. Then learn later. Now, the 6th category may not be enough, but these are the ones of the basic that you must checklist yourself. Check yourself. If you have these learned ability that across time, because I'm after for you to don't stop learning. When you say skill, okay, at the end of the day, everything changes around us. If I am going to be speaking about the 23 skills in 2024, it might be different already. Agree? Nothing stays the same because everybody wants to progress. We have to deviate from the norm like we did in 2020. We were all pushed, okay, to do the online thing like this, okay, because we wanted to progress despite all the uncontrollable changes around us. So you are with an organization that wanted to progress. And with that, you have to also get multi-tooled and with the right attitude to move their goals. Now, if you ask me how to master the skill, I think this is almost my last slide for the talk. I want to ask you a question instead to answer this. In the first place, why do you want to master a skill? This is something personal already. Why do you want to master a skill? Because if you are able to answer very clearly why you want to master the skill, then therefore, that's the way you will master a skill. If this is just about getting better, but not really contributing to the bigger scheme of things, the story, then you will master that way too. Remember, it takes experience, it takes reflection, it takes thinking, and acting is the most important. Because in that case, our learning capacity may be not too huge or wide, but that can help, widening the capacity we want to have. Okay? So you have to know why you want to master a skill, for what purpose it is for you and for the ones that you are to serve or support in the next few years of your career. I love what Michael Jordan said here. Because all of us, do administering our work. It's not how big you are, it's how how big you play, meaning how wide. I'm talking about the width of our service, right? Sometimes it's no longer in our job description to serve. But if that's how big you play, then I'm pretty sure you're going to earn more skills. Okay, you don't limit. Okay. Now, with this, I'd like to also make mention of what I do in legacy coaching. This is now, I'm also norming into online coaching, and I'd like to invite you to reach out to me if you have this personal life work coaching that you need, because I know that there are sometimes at workplace you cannot talk to people, especially those who are with you. So this one is for gaining or regaining the fitness on the following, the mastery on the following. It could involve family and home, love and relationship, okay, financial and career, business and profession that you'd like to talk about until you get to the next actionable plans you have, okay? Because this is what I do, aside from, of course, being with AXA Philippines and doing still my public speakership. And with that, I'd like to also give you, for those who will text now, your intent, your name, you let us know. On this number, there is a special coaching rate I want to give, and thank you, Ariva, for giving me this opportunity. So as to get you multi-tooled, not just in work life, but also in life work, okay? You may want to engage with me doing this together. In case you cannot yet engage with me right now, then you may also email me. You can screenshot this one so you get a way to talk to each other in the next few days. So I hope that this talk also answered some of your questions, but I really got 76. So shall I continue now answering some, Kate?
Yes, okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Daphne. So we'll move on to our question and answer portion. For those of you who would like to ask a question, you can type it here in the chat box or click the raise hand button so you can ask your question directly to our speaker. Or if you're a bit on the shy side and you don't want others knowing that you ask a question, you can send your question to me privately here in the chat box. I'll be reading your question without reading your name. But as Ms. Daphne has mentioned, that we have received questions way ahead before we started. Here are some of the questions. Let me ask the first one.
Yes.
Ms. Daphne, we are often in a position where we have to decline requests. How do we decline without actually saying no, or at least without making the requester feel shut down?
Well, first things first, you don't have to use the word no. Don't ever use the word no, nobody wants that word, especially in writing. So what you do is, you just say, typically naman, no, we say, we're sorry to inform you that, right? Or we apologize for, but you have to give them the reasons. You have to give them a very good reason why. And if they still want further clarification, please do not try to stop the relationship there. Okay? Because definitely they will have more questions. Declining is painful, right? So what we wanted to actually keep is the relationship. Okay? To answer your question, do not use the word no. Okay? Rephrase your declining meaning in a more humane and respectful way.
There you go. Thank you for that. Yes. Now, this question, I think may hugot. Here's the question.
Go ahead.
When pressured with too much work, how can I still do all the job excellently without affecting the others, especially because I'm a newbie?
First things first, you don't have to expect yourself from being excellent. Okay? There's no such thing as being excellent because everything changes around us, right? You can be excellent right now, perhaps, but not next week. Okay, so I think that I will answer that with another question. What do you want? We go back to our personal wants. What do you really want? Okay, because that will now give you the clarity on what to do. Because I think what the person says, how do you, again, Kate, how do you, the question, sorry?
The question, one moment, let me just go back to that. How can I still do all the job excellently without affecting others? He's concerned about others.
Yeah, why is the question like that? Affecting others with what? So I would suggest you reach out here so we can, know the story.
There, for our participant who asked that question, probably would like to ask the question directly so you can explain your side. There you go.
Yeah.
So I'll move on. While waiting for her, let's move on to another question. Here, Miss Daphne, can you give us tips to handle employee misconduct at the workplace?
First things first, misconduct, that's already, it's a must to see in a workplace. It depends on the misconduct, okay? And what's exactly in your handbook? What is it written there? Typically, misconduct can be, first, we know that NTE, right? Notice, okay, to explain. That's the legal one. But is the misconduct something that happens every time, all the time, every day? And what is the weight of the misconduct, and how is that affecting the organization? So these are the things. Do we handle the misconduct or the person, the behavior of the person? So I think that's one thing we have to clarify also.
Thank you for that answer. That's really nice. Here's another question. Okay. How to achieve work-life balance without compromising your task?
When you say balance, this is has something to do with clarity. Okay. Assess yourself if you are in the right place with the kind of life you have right now. Some people wanted to do two things at the same time: strong career and strong family. There are trade-off, okay, that you have to also weigh. If let's say the balance, the job can be too toxicating for you perhaps, because this is where your life journey is happening right now. Or if you are, if I ask you, what kind of balance do you want to see? Because we all have a different way of defining our balance, agree? Okay, so from there, at least you have an idea, okay, on how you achieve the balance. You see, that's the thing. They say balance is only like about time management. Not exactly. It's where you are now. It's where you are now in life.
Okay. Thank you. Another question here. We received it here in the chat box. Let me just go back here. This one is from Abigail Santiago. What is the most difficult skill you have mastered, and how did you do it?
The difficult skill I've mastered, it's so difficult talaga, is to change of industry. The skill is the same. The industry is different. So when you change industry, the nature is different. The practice, the habits, and all, the people. When you change industry, that's where it's not the skill is there, but the industry is where you actually need to adjust both. Now, difficult skill, ano ba? Meron ba, Kate? So far naman, kinaya naman natin kung anong kinaya. So far, kung meron naman siguro, in school, math, grabe, no? Math, numbers, okay, that's kind of difficult because you used to with the one's easy for you personally, okay?
And I think this would be our last question because of time constraint. So
Yes.
the last question is this. What do you do if your top management is not supportive of administrative compliance of the company? Interesting.
I would show the effect. Diretso, di ba? I would show the effect of the problem, that this is already happening. I would show proof. Then I give it back to them. So what do you think? I would show, because that's one thing that they need to see. They don't see it, that there's already an underlying effect on not doing anything about it. And you show them also if how this impacts the financial side. That will get their attention, I'm telling you.
Yes. Wow. Yes, that's true. Thank you so much for that, Miss Daphne. Here in the chat box, I'm seeing a lot of you are asking for a copy of the presentation. I mentioned a while ago the YouTube channels that you can subscribe to so you can re-watch this free live webinar. So subscribe to Ariva Talks in YouTube. Okay? So thank you so much for that. Now, Miss Daphne, thank you so much for spending this afternoon with us, sharing your knowledge, your insights with all of our participants. We truly appreciate that. Because of that, we would like to present you with a certificate. Let me read this. Ariva Academy, learning development at its finest, gratefully presents a certificate of appreciation to Daphne B. Granville for generously sharing her professional expertise, invaluable knowledge, and wisdom to the delegates of 23 essential skills of administrative professionals must have in 2023, given the second day of the March 2023 via Zoom conference. Signed by Chairman and Chief Strategist Learning Event Producer J.M. Atienzo and President and Chief Learning and Development Strategist Michelle Irish Malonda Sampson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for our speaker, Ms. Daphne Granville. Thank you so much, Ms. Daphne. Now, before we end our webinar, I'd like to invite everyone to turn on their cameras. Please turn on your cameras. There you go, and join us for a group photo. There you go. By the way, for those of you who are asking about the e-certificate, please send us an email. Okay, send us an email. There you go. And I'll be calling on the assistance of our technical director. DJ Eric, can you assist us?
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Kate. So good day, everyone. So we encourage everyone to open up your camera so you can join our group picture. Come on, guys. So I think we're ready. Okay, for our first shot, can we do a 2 thumbs up with a smile?
2 thumbs
Come on, guys.
up.
Okay, here we go. 2 thumbs up with a smile in 3, 2, 1. Okay, for our second shot, can we do a hand hearts?
Hand
Hearts
hearts
or finger
like
hearts?
this.
Yes. Show me some love, guys. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Yes, thank you so much. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Thank you so much, DJ Eric. In behalf of everyone from Ariva Academy, I would like to say thank you to all of our participants here via Zoom and via our live stream. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. We are looking forward to welcoming you again in our future learning events. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. God bless you all. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.